Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of History Boys Cracking Reads. Today we're going to be focusing on, this book right in front of you. John Landis's Monsters in the Movies, 100 Years of Cinematic Nightmares. And, I got this book when I was in my mid-teens. Mid to late teens. There's my sodding light flickering. Because, I just love menial shit like changing light bulbs and so on. But I'm probably going to procrastinate that because, fuck that. And apparently, sponges or squirrels can change light bulbs better than me. But anyway, yeah. It's slightly out of date. There's certain people that are dead. There's newer movies, that kind of thing. But yeah, just look at the front page. The werewolf, the Kessler wolf from An American Werewolf in London. Absolutely terrifying, and I always wondered how well a remake would do, or maybe they should do like a flip side of it. We've already had An American Werewolf in Paris, but slightly disappointing effects and all that. But I always think, what if they did like an English werewolf in New York? But anyway, yeah, this is a cracking read because it's got talking about like Ray Harryhausen stuff, Jason and the Argonauts. Used to really love watching reruns of all the 50s Greek monster epic things. For some reason, just the idea of adventure and yeah. Also in this is like really great interviews with people like John Carpenter and the late great Sir Christopher Lee, who actually didn't really care that much in the end for playing Dracula because basically he had a pushy manager who he worked under whatever with Harrow House of Horror, who wanted to just keep him as Dracula. That's why he kept doing it for so long. But his favourite monster to portray was either the Mummy or Frankenstein's monster. I think he was Frankenstein's monster. I might be misremembering because Boris Karloff is who he talks about. It also played the Mummy too. But yeah, let's show a bit of it. There's all that, if you can see it. Great collection of film posters and stuff there as an introduction. Let's flick through. Let's just ignore that. Yeah, so Dracula. Don't know, I'm not really into Dracula, to be honest. Totally forgot that Lon Chaney Jr., the original Wolfman, was Dracula at one point. Gary Oldman, to me, is probably the scariest Dracula. Especially that old man form right there. Terrifying. And people were freaked out by this film because of the AIDS paranoia in the early 90s. Let's see what else there is. Love reading this. I can see it enough. Don't know how to turn up the brightness on this while it's recording. I don't know why. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, good old Willem Dafoe, who's in Nosferatu. I've yet to see that. But I like the interesting, appearance-wise, I like the interesting take they have with Count Orlok, who's not a bold, overgrown teeth vampire. Oh yeah, and this freaky thing here. Splice. Yeah. Yeah, that ended up haunting my dreams for a long while. Anyway, yeah. Zombies, boring. Yeah, I actually find zombies boring. Unless you're talking about Resident Evil, I mean, because that's just... They move on from zombies, and also there's, like, different types of zombies, but zombies in the movies tend to be just, like, basically... Unless it's the Haitian voodoo ones, they tend to be just kind of the same. Yeah. Myths, legends, and fairy tales. Love me some myths. Of course, you can check out my other categories. The location, people, yeah, the locations. I can't remember the title of my own bloody thing. But yeah, this is sort of the Ray Harryhausen stuff that I was talking about. The Hydra, Talos, the bronze man with the singular vein, and that was the weakness he had somewhere in his leg, I think. That's from Jason and the Argonauts. Yeah, I quite like Legend, even though I don't really care for Tom Cruise, but yeah, I like the. I actually like. I mean, I'm not keen. I'm not keen on the devil. On the overuse of the devil stuff, but I like how the story comes together in that one. Yeah, stuff like Lord of the Rings. I'm not so much into it, but I wonder how fun it would be to be some kind of extra, like a yeah, like playing an orc or a goblin or something like that. But yeah, and also I think there's a page you just saw a little bit of the Pale Man from Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth, which is one of those stories where when you rewatch it, manages to be scarier from the political, unsupernatural, if you will, perspective. And yeah, I mean Del Toro's designs and stuff like that are always really good. Like, my favorite look of a character in his films is probably Prince Nuada from Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. I'm not keen on royal stuff in general. It's just me, but yeah, I always like the warrior prince, warrior king subject, especially when it's like other types of beings, people, whatever, living on the earth. And I've always liked the idea of if I was any good at cosplay or anything like that, I could be arsed with it. I would dress as Nuada. Probably my first guy crush as a kid. Yeah. So yeah, there's a bit of that, some dinosaur stuff, some technically legendary stuff there. Yeah, Siegfried, the German version of Sigurd and the dragon Fafnir, I think, who was a dwarf originally, the Fafnir, and he kills the dragon and bathes in his blood and becomes invulnerable. And so on. But yeah. Hell, where? Burke and Hare, of course. I mean, I potentially could have done a Bad Blokes episode on that. But yeah, real life grave robbers. There were two Irishmen in Victorian Edinburgh who got easy money from a mortician called, I believe, Robert Knox, and they kept making pretty good money from delivering bodies to him from like cemeteries and stuff. But then they started sort of running um, out of like actually dead bodies, or they just couldn't be asked going back and trawling through other places. So they actually murdered people, and of course I think they were all implicated because Knox kept kind of covering it up for them as well, all that stuff. So yeah, there's like the old films. In fact, there's loads of films on them. Yeah, bloody Simon Pegg and Andy Serkis as the two. I can buy Serkis. I'm not sure about Simon Pegg though, but I've never watched any of these. Christopher Lee as both of them as in like a loose adaptation. My stupid camera decided to do some stuff. Makeup artists. See if I can find the interview. Maybe not. Some Harry Potter shit at the top there. Tim Novak makes a very good, attractive witch there. I suppose Helena Bonham Carter is sort of attractive in a kind of psycho murderous way, but oh yeah, and Stardust. From as much as I didn't really care for that film, watching back, it's impressive how they make Michelle Pfeiffer there so hideously decrepit and old, seeing as she's like, I don't know, mid to late 60s now, and she still looks great, in my opinion. Which is rare for me to say about an older woman, but yeah, it is impressive. Hellboy, here we go. Yes, Hellboy 2. Yeah, unfortunately we don't see in this book Prince Nuada, because that was the best design in the film to me. Well, in terms of, well, it's not CGI obviously, but makeup and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so I won't troll through it. Yeah, there's some in conversation with, coincidentally I flicked to Rick Baker, who also obviously, if you're a horror film buff or into like decades older movies, whatever, he made the werewolf in An American Werewolf in London, which is obviously at the front, or maybe not so obviously, but yeah, there's a glorious shot there of how they did the prop work and everything. Yeah, some stuff with Ray Harryhausen there. Yeah, just stuff like that. Just all the content that goes into it. It's. I always keep coming back to this when I can't find anything, or I can't be asked reading a lengthy, like, story. Basically. Mummies. Yeah. Rachel Weisz could still get it. Or Vice. Yeah. Cool. Speaking of Guillermo del Toro, there's like a passage there that you can find on page 130 if the book's still being sold. I imagine it is. But what am I up to now? Mr. Legends Fairy Tales. Yeah, I did all that. Kind of getting repetitive now because I'm just flicking through like a moron. Aha! Yeah, Ang Lee's Hulk. It wasn't all that bad. People slag off the CGI, but this was like fucking. I don't know how to edit my sign. How to censor my language. Hopefully, I don't get monetized for all this. But anyway, yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was 2003 CGI. I've seen worse CGI later on. I have. Try to think of some examples. Yeah, people slag off this Hulk CGI, and then it's like you see. As much as I like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2, where him and Goblin are fighting around the clock tower, it just looks like it looks like a slightly later PS3 kind of animation. The way the speed they're moving, it just looks like, come on. But anyway, that's just like a controversial opinion of mine. And Spider-Man's on the Tobey's was Spider-Man, which is like, yeah, not really a fan. Spider-Man 3 was really good. Spider-Man 2 is probably my favourite though, because of Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. And no, I haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming either. Not really. Yeah. Yeah, never actually watched any old Japanese stuff either. Onibaba. I suppose that quote there is based on the Elephant Man. Slightly. Yeah, Conan stuff there, Conan. It's a shame they didn't do like a third one because, yeah, I didn't really care that much for Conan and the Destroyer, to be honest. I don't know why. I just didn't care. But yeah, anyway, some stuff before my light gets. I probably better wrap this up before my light goes out or it gets too dim to actually see shit. So yeah, that concludes this book. Oh my god. Yeah. So this is History Boy signing off.